What's the motherfucking deal, Sauce Nation? I hope all is well. I hope everybody is good. Welcome to Sauce Sports. If you're not familiar with Sauce Sports is a Houston, Texas homer network. Means we're talking all sports, but only Houston. So with that being said, man, tonight we're going to get into a little bit of discussion. Can the Texans take back the AFC South? Now, I know, a couple of weeks ago it was looking like the Texans had everything in the palm of their hands, and, some things have not quite gone their way. The Colts came to town and they held it down, and we didn't, unfortunately. Some things didn't go our way. We had a little close one against the Jets, and we go to the East Coast again to the Eagles, and it didn't look too well. And so now tonight we're going to discuss, hey, what are the Texans going to have to do against the Jags, and, the scenarios that will play out, if the Texans handle their business like they probably should have, the last couple of weeks. But, hey, again, it is what it is. Can't cry over spilled milk. But before we get all the way into that, man, we have to talk about the most important thing happening in the city of Houston. And y'all know what that is. And that is me. No, I'm just fucking with y'all. But I am your host, Ed Honcho. The most important thing happening is you guys, man. And we're going to talk about the roll call. Like the roll call. What is the roll call? The Sauce Nation roll call, man. That means we're going to say who we have joining us this evening. Hey, if you are from the greater Houston area, man, hey, look. Simple. Shout out your side with pride, man. If you represent the city, if you represent the Texans, shout out your side with pride. Even if you're not from the greater Houston area, even if you're not a Texans fan, if you're just in here because you fuck with the sauce, man, because you fuck with the round table, you fuck with your boy Honcho, you enjoy the conversation, man, or you come in here to throw a little bit of salt. I guess salt is an ingredient too, in certain foods and things. Don't want to get too much high blood pressure for all the hating, but just shout out your side with pride, man. We'll show a little bit of love. We're going to hold it down. We're going to get the conversation rolling. And then I'm going to spill my sauce for a little bit. And we're going to open up the sauce lines tonight. Y'all know how I tend to do it when I'm one deep. We open up the conversation and get right into the situation. So I see Hector Rodriguez representing Tomball. Shout out to Tomball, Hector. Quincy Jones, Ruben. What's the motherfucking deal? We'll talk about that Deshaun situation. That'll be an interesting thing, too. We'll definitely speak on that. Beyond the fucking nigga, what's the motherfucking deal? Texas for Life, T'Challa, Jaja Era, what's the motherfucking deal? Josh Cooper, Voodoo Child, one half of the greatest moderating couple in all the land. What's the motherfucking deal? Homicide nigga, that boy Los Roman Kemp. It's your boy Roman already. Solar Pimp C, and I agree, Jackson did wait a little bit too long, but, it's the damn end of the season, but it may be interesting to see what happens, next year if they ain't trying to squeeze motherfuckers for him. I don't know how much they're going to try to get for him, but we'll see. Because I think the Texans were interested in him. Somewhere mid-season, or maybe it was just us, the fans. Who knows? Go DJ, Miss Voodoo C, the better half of the greatest moderating couple in all the land. What's the motherfucking deal? Ashmel, what's the deal? Tay Hill, Bob White Powder. Let's see, Edwin Baptiste, D Love, Mr. Lucas speaking. What's the motherfucking deal? Let me see. Squirt the Dirt, Alpha Samurai, Victor Nail told me what's the motherfucking deal already. Northside representing. You know what I'm saying? You say what's up? We're putting a watch party for the first playoff game. It might not be a bad idea. That might not be a bad idea. We got to see where we're going to end up and how that whole situation is going to play out. And that might not be a bad idea. Shout out to Louis Porter or Lewis Porter. I don't know. Sometimes Louis, sometimes Lewis. I look if I fuck it up, but one of those got to be right. But again, not a bad idea. Lakewood in the house already. But here's the deal. Let's talk about it, man. Let's get into the discussion. Let's kind of talk about what's been going on. A couple of brief updates with the motherfucking Texans. I think a low key fan favorite, Big Money Texas in the house already, Beaumont representing. A low-key fan favorite, if not a fan favorite, a personal favorite of mine, ever since that hit from the fucking preseason, Josh Keys, whatever, everybody called him something different, but I believe if they said it's Kayes. I guess if he's a favorite, I should learn how to say his name, how that would help, but, it is what it is. He has returned to the roster for the second or third time this season. They let him go, brought him back. Let him go, brought him back again. I like the little dude. Dude can hit. Remember from the Miami game, he laid a big hit on Osweiler. And again, he's a solid hitter and seems to wrap up somewhat decently also. But again, they hated on my boy. They didn't want to let us get that touchdown. There should have been a couple of extra points on the board, but it is what it is. But he has returned to the Houston Texans roster with Brian Peters going out on IR, with Scarlett on IR. It's going to be interesting to see how the Texans utilize him, or if he's just another body or a special teams piece. But I wouldn't be too opposed to seeing him getting a little bit of playing time because, like, again, when he's been in the game, the couple of times we've seen him, he's made big hits, big plays that have contributed to a little bit of the Texans' success. Didn't have any DNP that did not practice. So everybody's practicing. Had a couple of limited practice. We had 8 guys on limited practice today. A couple of very interesting names with QT, Dunn, Howell, Hopkins, Jackson, Joseph, McKinney, and Watt. So kind of want to speak on that for just a little bit before we start getting into the main conversation of whether or not the Texans can retain or reclaim the AFC South. So with names like Jackson and Joseph, those are concerning. And I think Jackson has the knee situation. I think Joseph is the shoulder situation. Joseph, I'm sure, will be available because, we've seen him come back into the game, but he did kind of re-injure it again. Be very interesting. But again, with these guys playing a lot of corner and you're not having a lot of confidence in the other guys, Wright, I believe, is on IR now. You get kind of concerned at that depth because the Texans, for those of you who do or don't know, are currently ranked 29th in passing yardage as far as allowed, which is unacceptable. It is what it is. Some people say it's talent, some people say it's coaching. I believe it's a little bit of both because I don't understand how consistently some of these things are happening. And if you're a coach, you have to know your talent and utilize it. I mean, let's not have double standards for each side of the ball. Speaking of double standards, make sure y'all tune into the Den tonight at 10. We'll have a very interesting discussion in that. But again, McKinney, I'm not too worried about. Watt is an interesting one, but Watt, he's gonna fight through that. He'll be available. But again, like I say, the Jackson and Joseph are the most concerning of those 2 or of those 8. Now, one that I think is going to be, and I hate to be a negative person, man. I hate to be negative, but I have to, I try not to, I try not to use shit from last season or season before. Every year is a different year. Every game is a different game. It's a week-to-week league. But I'm going to be honest, I'm not super confident in QT being available, and I feel like it's a situation where we're going to need him. I'm not knocking Vincent Smith. I know there's been a lot of stories about him this week. I know there's been a lot of people talking about, well, he has been, quietly learning under guys like DT. We talked about it briefly yesterday under, Demarius and Hop and Will was teaching him a little bit, and he picked up a little bit from Ellington and all these guys. He's just kind of a quiet guy who's just, trying to soak it all in. They say he's been practicing hard, and that sounds good. You've heard Bill O'Brien talk about, the competition differences between, Division II and, say, an SEC guy who may have more NFL caliber competition when he plays. I think there's no excuse for any of that shit because I can think of, a year or 2 back, Wendell Williams, coming in. He was a smaller guy. He was a real fast guy, and he made plays for us here and there, when we needed him. And again, with a lesser talented quarterback. I feel like Vincent Smith, I don't know how confident I am in him, but, we'll see. But the guy that we do know and what he's capable of, and that is Kiki, not being available is kind of how I'm leaning, because anytime you see him with any kind of set of letters next to his name on the injury report, it's almost like you expect him not to play. And that's just kind of how I feel about that. And I mean, like I said, I don't want to be negative about it, but it's not looking good. And again, let's not underestimate the Jaguars because of their record. It's a couple of things that they would love to do. One, not give the Texans back that fucking crown. They took it last year, and they're not going to want to hand that back over so willingly. They'd probably rather anybody else have it, considering the Texans have had it, for the last 5 years or so or something like that. And so they're not going to be real keen on, just like I say, letting that go super easily. I mean, they're going to lose it regardless, but they would hate to give it back to the previous owners, I'm sure. Especially at home, or at our home, on our field, and then having to see us put on those divisional shirts and those hats and those things like that. They definitely don't want to see that. So expect them to have a lot of energy. Expect them to come out playing hard. Expect Blake Bortles to feel, revitalized for whatever reason. But, he's going to be trying to play to be somebody's backup next year, or somebody may feel confident enough in letting him start for who fucking knows. This fucking league that we're in. Sometimes you see some of the strangest shit taking place. But expect him to come out playing hard. It's the last game of the season for them. This is their Super Bowl. This is everything they got on the line. And again, they would love to play the role of spoiler. And again, they're good. They're still solid at stopping the pass. I want to say they are, let me see, what are they? Number 2, actually, only giving up 193 passing yards game, so they're going to stop the pass. And our running game definitely has been our forte. That's what we've been solid at. But the last couple of weeks hasn't looked as good with Lamar Miller being out, and he should be good to go this week. But again, don't expect anything easy especially with that front. A lot of people say, well, we should pass the ball a lot more. I think this is going to be one of those games you're going to regret making those kind of statements, because you'll see why we can't really pass as much against elite defenses, and why I think this is going to be a game that we need to rely heavily upon our running game. And AJ Bouye has been DNP. I believe Fournette has been DNP. Their kicker has also been a DNP. And I think they got a lineman and a safety, Gibson and Wells, who have been unavailable. I believe Miller will be back too. I think they said he's supposed to be looking good for this week. But again, just been kind of, again, coming off that injury. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. And, of course, I'm sure they're going to get Foreman some touches. And I don't know if he's going to usurp Blue or take over Blue's touches or whatever, how that's going to work, but we'll see how it all plays out. But again, I think this is going to be a game where you're going to definitely need to establish the run early. I think you will have an advantage, and that's been the thing that was concerning me. If AJ Bouye doesn't play, I feel a little bit better. Again, if Coutie's unavailable, simply because we don't have the passing weapons out there. And again, maybe Vincent Smith and his speed can be a factor, but I don't know how much confidence I have in that situation, considering he's only caught 2 passes in the NFL. And again, one of those was a big boy pass. One of those was a major catch. And so you got to give him his due for that. But again, against a defense like this, I think it's a different situation. So you got to look at the Philly secondary compared to the Jags secondary, and we're having 2 completely different conversations in this situation. Jay Dizzle, what's the motherfucking deal? Jared Key, the nigga who could, Berkeley Boss, what's the motherfucking deal? Big Steve Brown, man, what's the motherfucking deal? 335 Footballer, what's the motherfucking deal? And ADI Music, good to see y'all. But again, so like I'm saying, just looking at a couple other things. Speaking of Miller needs 83 yards to hit the 1K mark this year, and that's why I say it's unfortunate he didn't really play the last couple of games, because I'm sure he would have eclipsed that, and we definitely could have used his services. I think if he would have been available for the Eagles game, we have a bit of a different conversation, because it's the running game has been ugly. It's ugly without Miller. Blue, again, like him as a person. I have no ill will against him. Special teams, great guy. Running game, not a guy that I want to have this Texans team depend on heavily, because it's not what's up. J&J Sportscast, what's the motherfucking deal? Shout out to J&J, man. Make sure y'all show J&J some love. Link in the description. I gotta update my descriptions. I definitely need to do that. But again, it should be under Ray. So make sure y'all go and show some love. Go give them a follow or a subscribe, or I don't know, I'll be getting my platforms mixed up and shit. Go make sure y'all subscribe to J&J. Make sure y'all show some love. Ray representing. Good to see you. But again, like I say, just looking at a couple of things, man. I don't want to go into this game with the big head, because and I'm sure the Texans aren't. B.O.B. said, hey, we didn't celebrate that playoff inclusion because it wasn't like we won the spot. Even though we do have a chance, again, like I said, to win the division. Right now, we're currently sitting in the 3rd seed. It would take a couple of things happening. I would think it would take the Jets beating the Patriots. And I think the Jets are playing at the Patriots. I'm not sure about that. I got to double check that. If they're playing at the Patriots, that's even less likely to happen. But, it is what it is. It's unlikely to happen either way. But, and then you have the Chiefs and the Raiders. I'm playing the Raiders, and the Raiders are playing at the Chiefs, and that's unlikely to happen. So, again, like I say, I'm not really – and this is how I look at it, okay? Because with the lack of offensive talent – it's not that I'm expecting Deshaun, he's going to go out there and have a bad game, just get annihilated or anything like that. I mean, it's possible. They can rush the passer. But as far as us being able to control, hold on to the ball, minimize turnovers from, other guys, again, them trying to lock up Deshaun, without having to worry about anybody else, it can be a problem. Not Deshaun, I'm sorry, DeAndre, without really having to worry about anybody else. And again, DeAndre saying he feels better, but we still know he's kind of dealing with the ankle injury. So this is not a game to look at and say, oh, well, we beat them in their house earlier this year. Not the same game, not the same team. And again, Fournette didn't play that game. He probably won't play this game. And it's funny, because these are some of the things that we talked about early on when we talked about the Jags, in the beginning of the season. And I kind of want to talk about that, just some of the things that have kind of panned out and can come to fruition from the beginning of the season. We said that the Jags would regress to the mean because they kept Blake Bortles. Now, if they would have went out and got a quarterback, a quality quarterback, which they did not do. They decided, I guess they thought they were just going to ride that defense, or they believed in that that hype, that one time out of the 4 or 5 years in his career that Bortles had strung together a couple of decent games. So they started believing that hype and thought that he was the guy, and, didn't go get an insurance policy when there were plenty of them available. And so you kind of see what happened to them. But I'm gonna be honest, let's not be too down on this Jags team, because honestly, if they go and get them a decent quarterback, they're still in a pretty good position. It's just Bortles is that bad, man. I mean, let's just be realistic. They had a couple of injuries in the receiving position. I know Chark hasn't played. Well, he's played, but he hadn't really put up big numbers. That was a guy that I know a lot of people are interested in. But this is a team that is going to fight, because again, this is the same team that we saw lock out Indy the other day. And do we feel like our passing game is as potent as Indy's? No. We don't utilize our tight ends in the same fashion. We don't throw as much as they do. We don't have a line that can protect as well as they can. And so, I mean, just overall experience and just talent-wise, top to bottom. I'm not saying I feel like we have certain pieces where we have better talent. Of course, I feel like Hopkins is better than T.Y. A healthy Hopkins is better than a healthy T.Y. And a gimpy Hopkins is better than a gimpy T.Y. But, just top to bottom, this team can hurt you in any. I know y'all hate hearing it. I know y'all hate saying it, but any given fucking Sunday, anything can fucking happen again. Because we saw, again, that same Colts team get locked out, smoke a team, and was it the Cowboys they had after right before that. But anyway, you see him put up the number, you see him get locked down. You've seen it happen with the Titans. You've seen it happen with all these other teams. So again, let's not count this Jags defense out. You're not lying. I forgot they are going to be losing a bunch of pieces on that defense next year. But if they're smart, and again, I don't know how smart they are because they kept Blake Bortles, they'll still be able to contend. But they definitely, it all starts at the quarterback position. So, but just looking again, like I said, this week, Bortles is going to be back, so he's going to be rejuvenated. These guys are going to have something to play for. Last game of the season, they know they're not going on when almost every other team in the division basically has a shot at the playoffs. So they're going to feel a little salty about that. And trust me, they're not going to be upset about ruining our chances of hosting the home game. They are not going to be upset about ruining our chances at retaining the AFC South Crown or getting it back. So let's not just think that it's going to be a walk in the park. Now, offensively, I'm not worried about them really getting out. They're putting up, 16 points a game. But again, that defense is holding teams to about 19. So you definitely have to take these things into account. I don't think it's going to be as easy of a game as some of us would like it to be. And make sure you guys tune in later this week tomorrow and Saturday. What's that, Thursday? Tomorrow and Saturday, because we'll have some guests in house to talk a little bit deeper about this matchup. But so that's why I'm trying not to go too much in depth into it right now, because like I said, we're going to do a little bit more deep diving tomorrow. And is today Thursday? Today is Thursday, right? Let me make sure. Yeah, it is Thursday. Okay. We're going to do a little bit more deep diving into the game tomorrow and on Saturday. So another thing I want to talk about real quick before we carry on and talk about what the Texans need to do and looking at some of these situations going on around the league. Everybody who said Bird Box was good, that shit was trash. Okay? Just had to say that. Like I squeezed it in right before, well, not right before, but a little earlier, because I said I wanted to talk about it in the den. Probably tomorrow or something. But that shit was fucking trash. Okay, and I just had to say that shit was not good. It was not scary. I've seen motherfuckers talking about this, the motherfucking the horror of some fucking horror. That shit was boo boo. Okay, that shit was boo boo. The shit was just anyway. We'll talk more about that in the end tonight, man. Because I just had to get that out, man. Because everybody was just talking about that shit. Like, man, I'm not a person that likes to do what everybody does, and I knew that I was going to be disappointed, and I know that's why I don't follow trends and be doing that type of shit. Because I know when everybody talk about something, don't fuck with that shit, man. That shit was the worst. Like whoever thought that shit was live at 5, shame on you. You ground and go stand in the corner. Go get a piece of paper and roll it into a cone and sit that shit on your head. That shit was foo-foo. But I digress. Getting back to the conversation. Again, like I say, not to count this team out, but again, if you see, that you've seen most of the week that Bouye and Fournette have not been available, that's a trend that bodes well for the Texans, because again, the Texans are still stopping the run at a pretty good rate, and that is what they're going to have to try to rely on, because their passing game is not really there. Just looking at a couple of numbers, like I say, they're 28th in the league with 201 passing yards a game, which is Not good. Rushing, putting up 112, almost, well, might as well say 113, 112.9 yards a game. Putting up 16 points a game, 16.1, which is good for 30th in the league. And as far as overall yards, 314, excuse me, 0.2, which is good for 27th in the league offensively. Now, comparing that to our defense, we're only allowing 20.9, basically 21 points a game, 3 touchdowns a game, which is good for 6th in the league. 358 yards, which is good for 18th in the league. The yard is where it starts getting ugly because we know why the yardage is getting ugly. And this is what I'm saying. And this is why I say it gets scary, because we're giving up at 29th in the league, 271 yards, 272 yards, basically, 271.9 yards a game passing. And, you can say, well, Foles' numbers inflated that, and Baker's numbers inflated that, and Andrew Luck just had his way with us and inflated that. But it is what it is, man. But I tell you, and people, and this is what I don't understand too. This is another conversation I need to have real quick, because I posted this video the other day about, maybe it's time to move on from Romeo, and I can understand the argument of the talent issue. I can understand that argument. I don't really think that's it, because, even last year, this is the same. I mean, okay, well, of course not safety wise, but Hal was there. You talk about Jackson, you talk about Kareem. This is a lot of similar corner talent. All right, of course, the GOAT wasn't available, Kevin Johnson. We know that's the reason why we were so good last year. I'm talking shit. I'm just joking. But I can feel you on that. I can agree with you to an extent on that. I definitely can. I definitely can. But when it comes to the argument that we need to get rid of Bill O'Brien in exchange and make Romeo Crennel the head coach. Like, I've seen a lot of people say that. Like, do you guys realize Romeo was like, what, 22 and 58 or something, like 22 and something like that. I had the numbers earlier and I was looking at it. Like 22 and 58 as a head coach. He had one winning season out of 6 with 2 different teams. Now, one of them was like an interim head coach deal, and I think he had a couple little games at the end. But like, come on, man, like that. Like, I'm all about the conversation, but like, don't let your blind bias, don't let like your irrational thoughts just overwhelm you and say we're going to take the coach who, you may like it or not, 10-6 at the worst, 11-5 at the best at this point in time. Again, like I say, no matter what, it's the second best record in Texans history. And let's just get rid of him for the guy who has only had his best season was a 10-6 season, and then the next best season after that was 6-10. Like, let's stop that. Let's not do that. Okay, let's not do that. Let's not say that. Let's not be those kind of fans. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that kind of fan, but I'm just saying I've seen a lot of people make those comments. Some on IG, some on some of the other videos. Like, come on, like I may lean directions that people don't agree with, but let's put some numbers up behind the situation. Let's look at some of the facts behind the situation to justify these arguments, not just emotions, not just bias, and not just because the national media told you somewhere every other Texans fan in the city is saying some off-the-wall shit. You know what I mean? And that's what kills me. It's like it's a couple of things that happens in this town. And I want to say, damn it, somebody else has said, and this is something that I've been saying for a long time, like we act like there's a couple of things we can't talk about in this city. It's like we can't critique Watson or we're haters, or we can't say that defense ain't looking that hot. Talk about Crennel, and again, like I say, and this is coming from a person who was high on Crennel. Like, that might have been one of my main talking points in the beginning of the season as to why this defense was going to be so much better, was because Crennel's coming back, all his talent's coming back. Like, for all this conversation, we talked about Whitney Merciless and Watson. I mean, when Watt and Merciless and Clowney get on the field, no team's going to be able to put up more sacks than us. Nobody's going to stop all it. Like, yeah, and I know about Clowney and the TFLs. I get that, but I mean, it hasn't happened. It hasn't happened in that sense. And where are those numbers that we as fans were expecting to see? It hasn't happened because Whitney Merciless is getting dropped into coverage all the time. I think Clowney's on the brink of having him a double-digit season. I think he's going to be after that. He should get that against Bortles, so he should get him 10 sacks this year. But those numbers overall, we haven't fucking seen them, man. Like, I mean, and so my deal is, I have no problem eating crow on that, but at the same time, I'm gonna be critical. I'm gonna criticize and I'm gonna speak on it. But it is what it is. Told Watson to leave the hose low. What you talking about? Let the man do what he do, man. Look, he need to, Watson need love too. Shit, he need to go dunk on that fucking porn star again. You know what I'm saying? Throw up one of them Seattles, but let's get us a win. Let's hopefully the defense will sustain and not give up a fucking, what was that? What did they start on the fucking 11 or something on that fucking drive? Or shit was less than that. I think they were in the 10 on that one, and they fucking pushed it all the way down the goddamn field. So my thing is, ultimately, let's look at all aspects of this team. Let's not let our bias blind us. And like I said, I'm not talking about any one individual in particular, because it's like I said, it's been multiple. I've seen more than one comment. I've had people hit me in the DMs. I've had people hit me on various platforms to just say, well, what about Cornell? No. Before saying that, have you gone and looked at Cornell's head coaching record? And again, I have the utmost respect for Cornell. I have the utmost for what he's done in this league. But again, when we talk about Belichick proteges or affiliates or whatever, they don't do well. If any of them, Bill O'Brien has had the best head coaching career. So there's that. And again, like I say, my Bill O'Brien beef is, hey, yeah, let's go out and get an OC. Do all the other stuff you do as a head coach. We need that. But as far as play calling, delegate those duties to someone else, and I think we have the problem solved. Because again, Bill O'Brien is a solid head coach, no matter what you think. It's the play calling is where the problem lies. And once you figure that shit out, and once y'all realize that, and not just hear anybody say, oh, well, fucking Bill O'Brien sucks. He's good at every other aspect of his job, except for play calling. We can talk about game management, but fuck it, every coach fucks up in game management. We just notice it more because we're Texans fans. But we talk about Super Bowl winning coaches, Tomlin. We can talk about Peyton. We can talk about Belichick had some situations this year. Every coach does it. So I'm not as mad about the game management. I am, because I am a Texans fan, but I'm not as mad about that situation because every coach does it. But still, as far as keeping this team unified, keeping this team's mind on track, he does a solid job of that. I'm going to read a couple of texts real quick. Okay, that was from yesterday. We was talking about the true Watson hadn't lost a game since 10th grade by more than one TD. And I really can't think of him doing that. Now, some of them we were kind of out later on. I want to say that Kansas City game, we were kind of out of there, but we got it back in, relatively close at the end. So I think that is. Says, man, shout out to that boy Ricky D, man. And again, Ricky D always having some good chopping it up with some good conversation on the sauce line throughout the day. And he says, maybe KIS can cover a tight end, and can we please run some running back screens with Foreman? Good things will happen. That'll be interesting to see. I definitely would like to see some of that. And it says, Vance Joseph for DC, assuming Denver moves on from him. My deal with Vance is, I'm telling you, after that little, I mean, they might be grown men, and they may be able to come up with that. Here's my deal. I don't know about that comment, that stupid fuck. And I don't know if, you want to bring someone from that old regime back in. I don't know. There are ego issues and things of that nature, but I wouldn't rule it out. But I would like to maybe go fresh and in a new direction. Like with head coach, I'm a person who's opposed to let's just start fresh with somebody new, somebody random. But at DC, I wouldn't be opposed to trying something new. Shit, they gave fucking Vrabel a shot. They could definitely give somebody else a shot. Let's see. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. What is too conservative mean? Because that's the same argument that I hear all the time. You're 10-6 should be. You're 10-5 should be 11-4, but we're talking about too conservative because that's fucking last 5 minutes. That didn't look too conservative to me. Bill O'Brien plays when it's necessary. Again, if you hear him speak, his whole thing is he's out there to win a game, not to put up numbers, not to bust stats. And I can respect that. I know we as fans, I know me as a fan too. I want to see the big plays. That's what we want to see. We want to embarrass other teams ultimately. And I'm with that. That's what I like. That's what I want to see. But I can't knock his philosophy because ultimately we talk about too conservative. Again, 4 out of the 5 years winning records, and people say, well, we only were 9-7. Those, man, tell me what those other quarterbacks are doing. Is Mallett even still in the league? Like, where is Mallett? Like, how many quarterbacks have we gone through? We talk about we'll use this is what killed me is like these double standards that we have as Texans fans, man. We'll use the double standard of look at how many quarterbacks DeAndre Hopkins has had to play with. But then when we talk about records, we talk about other stuff. We just talk about, Bill O'Brien's trash. But didn't he have to coach these same quarterbacks? So like, how does that work for the receiver but it doesn't work. We'll call them trash because of they're throwing to Hopkins, but we won't call them trash because they're getting coached under Bill O'Brien. And so that's my thing. It's like I'm a person, like I like to call it evenly across the board. If it benefits this person, then it benefits that person. If it's a negative for this person, it's a negative for that person. Whether I am more in favor of another person or not, you know what I'm saying? I try my best not to be overly biased in these situations. So if I'm going to sit here and say, man, Hopkins and play with all these trash quarterbacks. All right, cool. Well, Bill B had to coach all these trash quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? And so that's my thing. And that, like, let's be even across the board. Let's not be overly emotional about it. You know what I mean? It feels good to say this, that, and the third. But I mean, like, here's my thing. We got people who love Kubiak for what he did. Bill O'Brien put up a better record than Kubiak. Without that, if you don't have that devastating fucking injury season, again, everybody died last year. Like, the whole team died. We lost fucking everybody that was worth the flip. Fuller goes out for in and out throughout the season. You lose your starting quarterback. You lose your backup quarterback. Yates, Heineke. Let's see. I want to say somebody else played last year. Then you go into games with these guys. You got your defense again. You lose JJ another season. You lose Merciless. You lose a lot of guys here and there throughout the season. Integral pieces, depth pieces, things like that. And we don't attribute that to anything. We just say, oh, well, he had that what was it, 4-12 season or whatever. Fine, Dandy, you're a coach. That goes on your record. But let's not give a player the benefit of the doubt and not give the coach the benefit of the doubt at the same time. the injury bowl, that's horrible. But again, and that's my thing. It's like, and I sit here and I agree with you that if we had an offensive coordinator, that we would see something different. And so I'm not knocking that, you know what I'm saying? But conservative is not the answer to it's not the problem. You know what I mean? That's not the reason why we're losing here and there. It's not. It has nothing to do with being conservative. And again, my thing with that is people say, let's keep passing the ball. What happened? We were pass heavy earlier in the season. That's when fucking Deshaun Watson was racking up the hits, getting fucking punctured lungs and stuff. Like, we can't have the best of both worlds. We only have so many pieces. We only have so many players. And I know we say, well, let's upgrade here, let's upgrade that. Well, we can't do that right now. There's nobody better or nobody accessible that we can go out and get, especially at this time. Trade deadline's over. You go to war with what you got. And so knowing that, you have to play to your strengths. And the strength is not letting fucking Deshaun drop back 40 times a fucking game and get hit fucking 30 times a game. And again, like, I don't like it. I would love to see Deshaun open up and see some of those spectacular plays and things like that. And trust me, Deshaun inhaled it enough, even when we're not throwing as much. We're only dropping back 25 times or whatever else, and he's still getting hit. So my thing is, throw another 15 attempts on that. How many more times is he going to get hit? I'm okay with what we got right now. Does it need to improve next year? Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, like, we can't just see you say the same thing to your coworker. Yeah. And my thing is, again, and that's why I say, man, like, and again, nobody has exactly right. You're talking about he's 31-2. Well, we're 31-2 now, but nobody had a problem with that record when it comes to playing conservative. Because again, like I said, what did conservative have to do when Cornell gave up 18 fucking points earlier this year when we played the Colts the first time this year? That had nothing to do with fucking. That had nothing to do with O'Brien. You know what I'm saying? You got an 18-point lead. Why put your players in position to taking the risk? You're getting hit. You're getting all this other stuff going. You're just trying to end the game, get it over with. Again, I say, like, we as fans, because we love the game, we want to see that shit. I want to see that shit. I'm not disagreeing with y'all on wanting to see high-flying football. I want to see Watson to Hopkins having 20 touchdowns. I would love to still have Will Fuller out there and being able to do things. Again, you got to think of what we lost along the season. Injuries, how they affect things. And it's just like, it's a small moving pieces. And that's what we have to recognize. We have to realize, like, it sounds good to say a lot of things. Trust me, it does. But you got to really think a little bit more in depth into it before, we just get upset about all that. They say we need to run a game to have more time possession, keep the defense off the field. Yeah, because, I mean, shit, you put in that defense, we see what happens when they're on the field more. Say we just run the game out of Will Fuller, more than likely doesn't get hurt. Yeah, I mean, again, situations like that, that's what happens when you start airing it out. I mean, more opportunities for injuries and things like that. And again, it's fucked up, but, you know, it is what it is. We took what the advantage was, and a very good point, because I want to say Ricky Diaz said, you know, if this organization had more faith in the rookies with a lead like that, where we're in that at that point, what if you're putting in Vincent Smith instead of Fuller at that time? Is Fuller still healthy, you know? Because they talk about his speed and all these things, but we really don't ever play the younger players, and that's a very interesting situation. So it look like we'll get Indy no matter what. I'm not afraid of Indy. I'm honestly not afraid of Indy. We beat Indy in their house. They came down here. They beat us in our house. You know, we were feeling ourselves. We were smelling ourselves. I think we overlooked them a little bit. But then again, how many yards did fucking Luck come in here and put up? You know, again, and what? What was that score? 20-23, something like that. And again, all them yards and still, you know, only a couple of touchdowns. Or excuse me. It is what it is. So my thing, you know, it is what that is. Let's see what y'all talking about. Then we're gonna open up the sauce line here in just a second. Was not expecting Vincent Smith to make that catch. You know what I'm saying? Hollis Curl, what's the motherfucking deal? There you go. You got some love, man. Let's see. You say, well, I mean, like I say, yeah. You say from Brownsville representing already. Say Texas versus Eagles. You think it's gonna come back? We want Bama. But again, but this is what I'm saying though. Let's talk about that Miami argument. Then I'm gonna open up the sauce lines. Because at the same time, we was talking about Vegeta Gang yesterday. Let's start crushing opponents. That's what you wanted, right? That's what we wanted, right? We want to start crushing motherfuckers. That's what you get when you crush motherfuckers. You don't think that might not have had an impact on BOB's coaching? Fuck. You know, trying to run a score up on fucking Osweiler because I let my ego get to me. I lost my second best receiver for the year. You don't think that that's a possible option? He's human too. You know, they had their beef. He probably wanted to crush the fuck out of Osweiler. Run up the fucking score, embarrass him. But guess what? We make that play or don't make that play, and then you lose somebody. You don't think that has an impact on the way he thinks and the way he's coaching for the rest of the year? And this is what I'm saying. Like, we don't know what goes on in these individuals' minds. So, I mean, it's just like, in hindsight, everybody knows everything correctly. You know what I'm saying? But when you're the man, when all the responsibilities fall on you and you got to make that decision, then that split-second decision and live with the outcome, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's easy to judge a motherfucker. And so that's what I'm saying. My thing is, and again, am I happy with every decision that's been made? No. Am I going to be overly upset about every decision that's been made? No, because ultimately we have a winning record. Are things going to be in our favor? No, we got a lot of injuries, man. And I'm going to be honest, it's not looking very great, but it is what it is. We take what I mean, and again, yeah. Again, and that was just an unfortunate play. Like, here's my deal. Even on that play, who says you throw that? Who told? I mean, that it really had nothing to do with the play call. It has everything to do with the way your buddy grabbed Fuller and fucked his leg up. Like, that has nothing to do with the play call. Let's be realistic. That has nothing to do with the play call. You know what I'm saying? So my deal is, like, that was all about old buddy from Miami getting beat and making a piss poor tackle, man. And that's all that was. So, I mean, you know, it is what it is. So, you know what I mean? That's what it comes down to, man. So it is what it is. And I'm saying I'm not afraid of the Ravens either, man. I'm going to be honest. Like, that's what I'd almost rather play the Ravens, because we are susceptible to the pass. We can stop the fucking run. We can't. The pass is what hurts us and shit. You know, we have a defense for them. They're going to have a defense for our ass. It'll be a good defensive game, but I think ultimately we come out on top because Watson's a better quarterback. But here's the deal. Let me drop the number on here so y'all can call in or text in to the sauce line. And like I said, we'll take some calls, man. We'll see how y'all feeling. If you agree, you disagree with me. Like I said, it's all good. That's what makes the sauce so great, man, because we don't all have to have the same feeling. We all different flavors. We all different ingredients. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what makes we come together to make the sauce. And that's what makes it so flavorful. It's not about agreeing with everything I say. I don't want y'all to agree with everything I say. If that was the case, this would be a boring ass show. You know what I'm saying? So if you disagree, you agree, or whatever it may be, man, feel free to call into the line. I want to know what y'all have to say. I want to know how y'all feeling. I want to know what y'all thinking. And then, like I say, we'll get some discussion going, man. But like I say, make sure y'all are available for tomorrow and Saturday. It'll be some real good special sauce coming in for those days. So make sure that y'all get in on that. Give me a second. Let me bring the chat back up. All right, hold on. We got a call coming in. Let's see what we got calling in on the sauce line. What's the motherfucking deal? We got calling on the sauce line this evening.
It's your boy, Roman.
Roman, what's the motherfucking deal, man? What you want to drop in on the sauce line tonight?
Oh, man, I just want to talk about, kind of like what a couple points you was bringing up real quick. You know, I look at this team, and I just really look at the rookies, and just the whole team in general. And if you just lay a blueprint of what this team is, you just think, this is a good team. This is a team that I think really can compete with anybody if it's coached right and played right. I mean, you got to think about it. Every team has its weaknesses, but I feel like when we put all our pieces together, we play as one, if we just coach it right, who's going to beat us, like I say? It's nobody to really, that's who's going to stop us, you know. And I know how y'all say, well, we got to play Vegeta ball, which I 100% agree. We got to play Thanos ball. We got to start getting these Infinity Stones and start just racing niggas. That's what we really need to start doing, man. Playing like Thanos, which is erasing half the universe. That's what we need to play. And we play like that, man. I don't think we can be stopped because we got a quarterback that can last this generation. That's going to make sure to get our receivers in good position. He's willing. He's going to do everything he can. He's not going to back down. You know, he even though sometimes it hurts us when he doesn't give up a play, he tries his hardest, and he's going to do everything he can to win. We got one, I think, in my opinion, the best receiver in the league. DeAndre Hopkins can make some of the best catches that any other person can't make a catch. You know, we got him. You know, okay, we might not get DT, but, you know, we got Will Fuller when he comes back. A fast, speedy receiver who's worked on his hands last year. I remember last year, you know, because he had, I don't know, that was a year or two before after that. But his hands was questionable. Now he worked on his hands. Will Fuller, before he got injured, was catching beautiful balls. So, you know, we have a receiver that's speedy. We like that. We have defensive line that's going to get any pressures and sacks on anybody. We have pretty good linebackers, good young corner there, good tight ends, I forgot about tight ends, and we got cornerbacks. I mean, we have places in improvement, but it's nothing, I think, that can't be. I think we can fix on that and still win and still improve and still get better. But, you know, looking at Cornell, man, like I said, I think it's time to move on. I think I appreciate all what he did for Houston. He's done a lot of good. You know, he's got us to, in his years we've been the top 10, the top 5 defense many a year. So you can't say nothing bad about him about that. But I think it's time to move on from that. Try not to say on one other thing, but like they say, Wes Welker, I agree that would be a good offensive coordinator. And I'm thinking about it, like I say, him with those receivers, with the star man, I feel like that's a lot of. Texans fans always want the big play. I feel like, we have somebody like Wes Welker calling the play. We got big plays waiting for us right there. If he's going to say, go out, make some cuts, make some turns, that's open opportunities right there just to win. So, and then when it comes to Bill, I mean, I don't know. It's like Bill is a good coach. I'll give him that. I love the attention he brings and how he's always there for his team. I love that about Bill. It's just the play calling. But you know what? Like, we get an OC. Bill just kind of watches everything and let somebody like Wes working and get a good DC to watch everything. Man, it's done for that. You know, that's all money. So, and then one last thing about this Jags game. I agree with everything you said, man. I told you that in the last call. The Jags they mad. They irritated. They are not happy that we beat them in their house. You know, I was looking at highlights of that stuff. What was that? This morning I saw it. They popped up on my phone. They ain't happy. And like I said, it's about to be a whole shift in that team. That team's like new people and all that. So they not gonna be happy about us winning and taking away their crown they had last year. So we got to go there, like I say, it's like a playoff game. We need to win it because we need to win that AFC championship. But to win the South, just to prove, look, this is our reward for a 9-game weekend for coming 0-3. we won our division. Yeah, we got in the playoffs, but we was granted that. Let's win the AFC South. Let's not be granted with the playoff spot. So, that's all I got. I can't think of nothing, man. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to you later, Honcho, man. Thanks for taking my call.
Already, man. Appreciate the call, Roman.
All right, man.
All right. Bet. What else did we catch? He was basically saying that, hold on, we got another call, but I'll make sure to speak on those points. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the sauce line this evening?
Hey, what's up, Honcho? This Ernest, man.
Ernest, man, what's the motherfucking deal, man? What you want to drop on the sauce line tonight, man?
Yeah, a couple things real quick, man. One thing I want to touch on, bro, is we got to do for watching what the coach did for Luck. Like,
yeah,
bruh, I remember a couple shows back you asked the question, what should we address, the offensive line or cornerbacks? Both needs. But we got to get offensive linemen, bro. I don't care if you got to spend your first 2 draft picks on quality offensive linemen. That's what it takes to make this team, bruh, an offensive juggernaut. Because if you get that boy watching time in the pocket, bro, like, man, everything else will come together, bro. You know what I'm saying? We can literally have an offensive juggernaut if he have adequate time in the pocket. So I wanted to speak on that, and also on the aspect of the run game. I agree with you 100%, man. It's a must that we get to that we run this ball this week. You know what I'm saying? Because that Jacksonville defense ain't no joke. It's no secret, bro. Them boys got ballers over there, man. And just because they record is what it is, hey, they still trying to put something on film. And at the end of the day, they are our divisional rival. And if they can, it's nothing better they would love more to end their season than to upset us by not letting us get that AFC crown, man, the divisional crown. But anyway, that's what I got, Honcho. Appreciate it, man.
Already, Ernest, man. Appreciate your call, man.
All right.
Already. Man. And J&J, man. Ray, if you get a chance, man, call in and get a folks some game on some of them linemen. I know people didn't talk about linemen. We kind of mentioned the other stream, but didn't really touch on it. So if you get a chance, call in. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling on the sauce line this evening?
What up, Asmel?
Asmel, what's the motherfucking deal, man? What you want to drop on the sauce line tonight?
Hey, you watching these Rockets, bro? Because they're blowing out the Celtics.
I'm not catching it right now. While I got the thing. Okay.
I know you're been keeping up with the Rockets.
I'll be all the time. I'll be over here watching games,
bro. They on their grind.
Oh, they back. Look, they back.
Yeah, man, but
they was back, man.
Nothing much, man. I just wanted to call in and just basically, just say that, it is what it is, bro. Texans. What scares me about the Texans right now is they've been holding on to Kiki for a little bit too long. From the people that I know that work in the building, it looks like he actually has about the same injury that CP3 has, a grade 2 hamstring. And the thing about the hamstring, obviously I don't play professional sport, but I play pretty much premier soccer. The hamstring injury that I had this year, it was so tricky to the point where, like, you would rest it all week. Like, I wouldn't go work out or anything for the week. And it would feel good. Like, by Friday, that Sunday I had that game. By Friday, it feels like I'm good to go. Like, it's fresh and ready to go. Come Sunday, you get a good stretch in and everything. And then you get out there, and you feel fine. You got your little wrap around it, to keep it tight, and you're playing. And the next, 20 minutes in, you just feel it, like, so swollen to the point where it wants to rip past that wrap, and then by the time you finish the game, it's like you still feel that strain, you still feel it sore. And so it's like, me on the soccer field, you don't have to do the sprint all the time. So as a wide receiver, he has to go out there and do exactly what they need him to do, which is spread that field. So I know it's been difficult for him to go, and up to the point where it's been reported that he's been frustrated with it. So I really don't think, honestly, if they don't play him this Sunday, I doubt they even play him in the playoffs, which is crazy because, we took hits. We took a hit by not really being able to draft any linemen in the draft. Then you take a hit by getting what you can at corners, and then even the people that you get, like Webster, can't even stay on the field. Sharice Wright, isn't the top-notch guy that you want. Colvin, he's off and on, not really consistent. Then you have Watt, who looks a little tired because he doesn't seem to have been able to, just getting tired because he hasn't really had a full season in a while. And then, pretty much other than that, and then Merciless is not really being played in his natural position. And so the defense is really, really looking back when it comes to, the back end of it, corners and the safety part. So, I mean, I'm happy with where we're at right now, given the fact that we don't have our full squad on wide receivers. We don't really have any new corners that we need. Johnson, obviously, is pretty much done for his career, I think. I don't think he'll come back. I don't think they really re-sign him. And then, just looking at all that, I'm happy with the Texans getting to the divisional round, but they got to get to the divisional round. And the thing about it is, even with this team being hurt, I still think they can go and put up a fight against the Patriots. The thing about the Patriots is, a lot of people haven't been talking about this last game that they played with the Bills. They ran it for 200+ yards. Like, I can't even remember the last time the Patriots had to rush for that many yards to win a game. Yeah. So I think if the Jets can shut down their running game, it's going to be a very close one. And if the Jets can pull one, man, I just hope the Texans can do their job, do their own part. If you can get to the divisional round without having to play a wild card game, all power to you, especially if it's at home. I'm pretty sure you can either beat the Patriots or the Colts at home in the divisional round and get to the AFC Championship. I mean, even if you don't win the AFC Championship, with everything that's happened this year, being 0-3 and everything, that's still a success. But the Eagles, to me, I have them as a black horse. I think they get in. I don't see the Vikings beating the Bears. I think the Bears are going to beat the Vikings. I think the Eagles do what they need to do against the Redskins and get in. And honestly, I think the Eagles with Nick Foles, they can beat up anybody in the NFC. I mean, I'm not really scared of any NFC team. I think the competition is really on the AFC side this year. And whoever gets to the Super Bowl from the AFC pretty much going to take it all.
Okay. I appreciate the call there. Man, that's a good point, man. Looking at, the injuries and things now, do you move the goalpost? I know a lot of us said, the AFC Championship or at the very least to be satisfied with this team. But looking at the injuries, no number 2, a dinged up Hop and everything else. Well, I had a call come in. I was going to try to answer that. And everything coming in like that. Do you move the goalposts? Do you accept a divisional round, whether they have to go through the wild card or if they do stumble into a bye week? What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in on the sauce line this evening?
Hey, it's your boy Josh again, man.
Josh, what's the motherfucking deal, man? What you want to drop on the sauce line tonight?
All right, man. But before I'm going to say this, I'm probably going to say some well-popular opinion type stuff right now, man. And I don't want to be on we need some hats and stuff. But, and to be honest about this game, I feel like, man, we should win this game. But it's just man, I don't know if I'm going to keep saying it, but, I haven't seen no injury-prone team in my life that's this bad. And that's why, it was so hard. And that's why, I think on last week, I was kind of that one dude that was trying to, defend Romeo Cornell when I seen everybody was bashing him because, yes, the defense that he's playing is not good. Yes, he's dropping everybody and they mama back in coverage. But I was like, what if he's doing that on purpose because he don't want to play his corners and man because he don't want them corners to get hurt again because how old the corners are. And you've seen how, we played man and they was backed up and they had Matthew and Aguilar and we seen how that turned out. So it wouldn't even surprise me if this man is out here scared to call defensive coverages because you're out here playing the game of poison at this point. So and it's just so sad, man, but all I really want is to just if we could just pretty much go into the game with the person that we can pretty much come out with every game. Yeah. And I just feel like if we do that, it'll be fine. Because to be honest, even what Luck is doing, when you have a great quarterback, man, he can make any receiver pretty much great. I'm not saying that you don't need a Hop or you don't need an AB or Julio or somebody. I'm just saying that when you have a great quarterback, you can pretty much mask anything and you can pretty much there's things you can pretty much get away with in the game. So to the point where even when we get into the playoffs, I mean, if we can just get to the point where, let's just say, ideal situation, down to a minute left, hit 3 timeouts, hit no timeouts. If we can just get into that situation, I feel like we'll come out with the win every time just because of who we have at quarterback, man. So I just want our team to just be healthy enough so Watson will have a chance to even just win the game for us moving forward. That's all I got to say about that.
All right. Appreciate the call, Josh.
All right, man.
Already. Man, and that's, I mean, it is true. We definitely always take some significant injuries, and it's either a lineman, or we've seen J-Jo come in and out, 2 or 3 times this year. And so, again, there's always some significant issues. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling in on the sauce line this evening?
Man, you got DJ.
DJ, what's the motherfucking deal, man? What you want to drop on the sauce line tonight, DJ?
Man, can we talk about the injuries that we always have? But I know old boy said it last call. Yeah. Every time I look at the injury part longer than my fucking arm. And that's ridiculous.
It's true, though.
But then if you just look at the record, I mean, we still got 10+ wins. That's pretty good. And then also the last game, I just want to talk about the last game. I ain't really talk about it. You can't blame that loss on B.O.B. You got to blame it on the defense. Because there was multiple times where we could have stopped them, but, we had major slip-ups. Like, I think it was one play, we had Matthew and Cunningham, they ran into each other, and I think they rookie tight end got a first down off of that. And there was another play. Which one was it? I think it was JJ. I think he went to the wrong pocket, and then Darren Sproles went right to the B gap. So I just want to talk about that. And also, yeah, like somebody else said, man, we just gotta win on Sunday, man. I don't think there's no other option. I don't want to go in depth and we got to do the run game, we got to do pass. We just got to win because, like you said, Jacksonville want to play sport. They're pissed at the last time we went there and we tapped that ass. I'm not gonna lie, because I think in the locker room they were fighting the locker room after we tapped that ass. So I mean, yeah, we just got to win on Sunday, and that's the only thing. That's the only thing I want to say. And yeah, that's it. I'm out.
Already, man. Appreciate the call, DJ.
Appreciate it.
Already. Man, I forgot about it. They sure was scrapping with each other after that last win again. So they're going to have some feelings. They're going to feel a particular kind of way. They know a bunch of changes and things are coming in Jacksonville, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all pans out. But, man, some very valid points. And, again, injuries, they constantly impact this team. But the thing is, you got to have a solid enough foundation to continue to win, to continue to play. And I want to say, like what Roman called earlier, he was talking about the blueprint. And I feel like this is what I'm saying. Again, you don't want to throw any season away. You want to be competing every season. But I feel like the foundation is there for a very solid future with this team. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we have calling on the sauce line this evening?
Hey, man, this is Kenneth.
Kenneth, what's the motherfucking deal, man? What you want to drop on the sauce line tonight?
Hey, man, I kind of wanted to stick on to what I was talking about in the chat with Jay Dissa. So we were kind of going, well, not back and forth, but excuse me. We were going over what teams push, how teams put a lot of stock into these draft picks. We were arguing that, you know what I'm saying, that we could have had a player like Patrick Peterson. You know what I'm saying? I was saying that shit. I would have been willing to give up the first runner for him because, honestly, I don't see a single cornerback coming out in the first or second round that's gonna be better than Patrick Peterson. So I'm saying that, wow, you got to. A guy was in the market for the next 3 years. I mean, that Patrick Peterson can do the job for the next 3 years while you get a cornerback that you can grow for the next 10 seasons, 8 seasons, you know what I'm saying? Just get a fucking draft pick up, man. It's not that serious, you know what I'm saying? Because there's not, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, man, that first round is important. Yes, I know. But there are not really that many good offensive linemen coming out in the first round that justify their draft position. So, you know what I'm saying? You might as well draft some offensive linemen with your 2 second rounders and possibly in the offseason if you don't, we could have done it. Like I said, you could have given up that first round for Patrick Peterson earlier. And, but we didn't do it, whatever. So, I don't know. I'm saying that, but that's all I kind of wanted to say, man. I feel like draft picks are way overrated than they actually are. There's not a single player that's gonna you don't know if these players are gonna come in and be a bust or be Pro Bowl players. So why are you taking a gamble on an unproven guy when you could get a proven veteran that's probably gonna make first team or second team All Pro again this season? And what is he? I think he's going on to his 8th Pro Bowl. We could have had a guy like that, and bam, you got a Patrick Peterson in the secondary who's really don't be getting injured. I don't think he's been injured any time in his career. You know what I'm saying? You could have gotten a guy like that, bam, you solve your corner issues. You put Jonathan Joseph at the number 2, Patrick Peterson at the number 1, you put Justin Reed or Kareem Jackson at safety or Tyrann Matthew, bam, your secondary stack. Simple. You draft a corner, maybe you draft a corner next year, 2019 draft. draft another corner, and you got your secondary fixed for multiple years with fucking Justin Reed and your next corner to be the backbone of your secondary for years, and you draft all linemen with your second rounders and third rounders and fourth rounders, whatever the fuck you're gonna do it. But hey, that's just me. I'd rather get a proven veteran than taking a gamble on these young players.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, we'll talk on that. I appreciate your call there, Kenneth. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling in on the sauce line this evening?
Hey, Honcho, what's happening, man?
What's the motherfucking deal? Ricky D, what's going down, man?
Hey, man, it's Ricky D in the place to be.
Already.
Man, just wanted to, first of all, I heard somebody mention the Houston Rockets, and I would, just for this week, man, I would ask that any success that the Rockets have be put under wraps, because Houston sports typically doesn't allow for one success after another. And I just don't want to, right now I'm not worried about the Rockets. We need to be worried about Texans. So if the Rockets are doing good, we need to not pay attention to that for the time being. Just also wanted to ask you, man, what do you think about Keys getting signed back to the active roster? I'm not sure if anybody brought that up.
Yeah, we spoke on it for just a second, but I definitely like that move because I'm a fan. I like him. I like what he brings to the table, and hopefully he gets some solid playing time.
I was gonna mention that whenever he played, we started playing a little bit better against tight ends, and he does tend to cover a little better than the tight ends, than the linebackers that we do have in the middle. That's one thing that I saw. But also, I mean, he also just makes a play here and there. But I also think too that might help out for the special teams. Just wanted to remind everybody that I remember when everybody laughed at me when I said Vincent Smith should replace Braxton Miller when we were doing the 53-man roster, because I was saying that Vincent Smith in one preseason game had already duplicated what Braxton Miller had done in his whole career, and the touchdown the other day also did that too. And I'm looking for bigger things from that guy, even though I'm not sure how much bigger anything will be this the remainder of this year. And then the other thing that I wanted to bring up too was how we're finally seeing a quarterback that does not allow us to ever be out of a game. I thought that was just, man, I was hoping that I could come and serve some crow with the Vincent Smith touchdown the other day, just because of the fact that I thought we were going to win that game, but I kind of waited for the rest of the week. Anyhow, man, just wanted to share those things, see what you guys thought. I'm also with the impression too that the tight ends are going to play a bigger role going forward, man. And I'll hang up and listen, man.
Okay, man. Appreciate the call, Ricky D.
Later.
Already. That's very valid points there. I did want to kind of get on the thing, and that's what I was going to say about the Peterson stuff. Is Peterson was never really made available. The rumors were out there, and then a couple of days after the rumors were out there, Arizona immediately squashed that. Peterson came out itself and squashed that. So I understand what you're saying, but to put so much stock into wanting to go after Peterson, Kenneth, I wouldn't put all that energy into it, because he was never really on the table like that, because the rumor was that they wanted, a first or two firsts or something like that. And then, the rumor was they weren't even going to trade him. And so either the stock was way too high to come off two firsts, no way. But now if a situation where I will agree with you is if a situation occurs where you're in the first and you're getting to a point where, okay, we're drafting late, no matter what, we're going to be drafting late in the first. And again, if we don't see those linemen, that's what I was saying, J&J, if you calling up, give the folks some info on some of the available linemen that are available early. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling on the sauce line this evening?
Hey, man, this is Kenneth again.
Yes, Kenneth. What would you like to drop on the sauce line?
All right, look, man, talking about the whole Arizona thing with Patrick Peterson, like, Arizona's not going anywhere for at least not next year, not the year after. So for the next 2 to 3 years, Arizona is going nowhere. See, man, Patrick Peterson, what is he, like 28, 29? He's going to be 32, 33 by that time. So, I mean, you might as well get all the resources you can out of him. So let's see what they're going to do this offseason. Let's see if they're not going to bite again this offseason. You know what I'm saying? Because you might as well get as much as you can for a player before you can't no more, because you're not going to go anywhere. So, you know, you might as well do whatever he can. And as much as I like players to have control over their own destiny, Patrick Peterson ain't in control of where he can or can't go. You know what I'm saying? If the team want to trade him, they gonna trade him. How many times?
And that's what you. But what you just said right there is, and that's the biggest factor. Does the team want to trade him? Because you saw they came out quickly and squashed all those rumors and squashed all that shit that they were saying when all that stuff came out about Patrick Peterson. The Arizona is not gonna come off that dude and basically dismantle their secondary. When you have a talent like that,
basically the entire team is dismantled. So I mean.
Okay, but whole team is a mess. But you still have pieces that you're going to want to build a foundation on, and that's a foundational piece. So I mean, it's going to be highly unlikely that they get rid of him. And even when the rumors were coming out that they were going to want some quality assets, you're not just going to throw that man away just for no anything. So I mean, I think that I hear what you're saying, and I would agree if the opportunity is available, yeah, you jump on it. But the big factor in that is the opportunity available? If it's not, then I mean, you really have nothing going on with that situation.
I feel you. But I mean, how much confidence do you have in? I mean, do you have a lot of confidence if the move were to become available? Do you have a lot of confidence in Brian Gambin popping that move off?
I think if it
you know, we like a few of us, I know, like me and a lot of the roundtable were critical of Brian Gambin during the offseason because we did have a whole lot of cap space. And we didn't really bust the moves out that we could have busted out. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's been aggressive to an extent with getting Demaryius Thomas during the trade deadline. But, I mean, the amount of money that we had in free agency was ridiculous. And, you know, we didn't really come away with some great players out of it. I mean, we did get Sean Trail Henderson out of it and a few other players. But, I mean...
Well, my thing with that,
other than Tyrann Mathieu and Sean Trail, like.
But again, and I understand that. But if you go back and you look, there were a lot of teams or a lot of guys that we were in contention with. I think the Soldier situation. I think we were throwing the same money at him, but he decided to go elsewhere. And I want to say it was somebody else that we were in contention for, but you know that they also decided to go elsewhere. So it's not like that they probably weren't making moves. But again, you know these guys, especially that's the thing about free agency. They get to choose where they want to go. You know, this might not have been the ideal destination for them. So it's not like they weren't trying, or he wasn't busting a move, or he wasn't trying to do some things. Because again, the Texans name was associated with a few players, but it seems like we missed out on a bunch of them. And then the Honey Badger thing was quite a surprise. You know, Henderson and some of those guys were, you know, relatively low level moves. And you know, this Henderson situation was unfortunate, but you know, I know that we want to hear the big names, we want to hear the big splash, we want to hear the big free agent move, but. I mean, again, it's in the same situation as with the Peterson thing. If it's not available, what can we really do with that? All right. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling on the sauce line this evening?
Hello?
Hello. Who we got calling on the sauce line this evening?
This is Edwin Ortiz, man. What's the motherfucking deal? Huh?
What's the motherfucking deal, Edwin, man? What you want to drop on the sauce line tonight, man?
Oh, man, I just want to talk about this matchup, man, coming up Sunday. This the game. I honestly thought this was gonna be the game we walked over. I don't know if you remember me calling. I'm just Edwin Baptiste. I don't know if you remember me calling. I was talking about how if we beat the Philly, then it's pretty much gonna be a walk off for us. This Jaguars game, but shit, I couldn't have been more wrong, man. These Jaguars, they're gonna suit up and they're gonna come to play. And so I think this is what's gonna do it. If we have ckin in the lineup, I think that's gonna make a big difference. But I'm waiting on. I know he only played one game, but I'm waiting on Deontay Foreman to wake up. Once that motherfucker wake up, it's a wrap. I'm telling you, it's a wrap. Like the offense gonna get going again, especially on the running end. And I heard somebody saying that we should throw more, running back screens to Foreman. They threw like one or two to him in that Philly game, and he did something with that shit. He took the motherfuckers for about 7 to 8 yards. You know what I mean? And so I think that'll be a great idea to add that to the play call, some running back screens and and to see Kiki, you know what I'm saying, suit up, that'll be wonderful. But yeah, I ain't gonna keep you long, man. I'm at work actually. These motherfuckers probably need me back in the kitchen. But yeah, I just want to lay a quick little sauce, man, down on the line real quick, man. Let me get back to work though.
I really appreciate it, Edwin, man. Appreciate you calling in.
Oh yeah, no problem, Honcho. All right.
That's a bet. Look, we're gonna find out where we're gonna have to pull a Sauce Nation meet and greet at the at wherever he works. We're gonna look see what he cooking up good in the kitchen, man. But yeah, man, and again, I agree, man. I'm telling you, this Jags game is not gonna be a walkover. It's not gonna be an easy one. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling in on Sauce Line this evening?
It's your boy Ray, man. What's going on?
Ray of J&J Sportscast, man. Make sure y'all hit the link in the description below. Make sure y'all go show Ray some love. Ray, man, can you school the folks on some of the offensive line talent and kind of in the early rounds, maybe first and second round talent, if there is any, and especially where the Texans most likely will be drafting? Do you see anybody that's going to be worth some of those high round draft picks, or should the Texans be waiting a little bit?
Well, based on where we're projected to be picking anyways, I mean, you got to kind of think that at least top 3 linemen are going to be off the board before they even get to you. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, there is a bunch of names I'm looking for. There's a bunch of names that I'm looking at. The names that you really need to familiarize yourself with that I think will not go top 15, top 20 are going to be guys like Dalton Reisner from K-State, Andre Dillard from Washington State, Juwan Taylor 6'5", 340. He is shooting up draft boards quick, fast, and in a hurry. I don't know why that is, but he is shooting up real fast, so he'll probably be gone. Greg Little will probably be gone. What's that fool's name from Alabama? I can't stand. Jonah Williams, is that his name? I think that's his name. Jonah Williams, I can't stand his ass, but he's going to be gone too, probably, because he's going to be overrated Alabama player like everyone else. Caleb McGarry, he's going to be kind of a project, but that's the opposite tackle for Washington University. It's not getting a lot of love, but it's going good. Max Sharpering from Northern Illinois. I like those smaller school linemen kind of guys that kind of work their way up. I mean, there's a number of guys you can be looking at. My focus this year for draft prospects is going to be twofold. One, who are the realistic expectations of what kind of lineman we could get in the first or second round? Two, do they have a history of injuries? I mean, we've been sitting here talking about injuries for like the last 20, 30 minutes on this roster. Well, I don't want to pick someone who just had just tore their ACL and has been out all season. I don't want to have someone that just had reconstructive surgery on their knee basically 2 years ago, had one good year of production, but was off and on the field because they couldn't stay on the field. You also have to keep in mind that this is not a very deep draft for linemen. You thought last year was bad. This year's even worse. And this free agency is even worse than it was last year. So if you're looking for an immediate repair on that offensive line, you're going to have to do some heavy investing. And I got to tell you, Texans fans, and I hate saying this, they're probably not going to give much, maybe one guy to contribute. Maybe. Most of the guys that are coming out that'll be available at our particular round are either going to be anywhere between a right tackle or a guard position. There are very few true left tackles in this draft. I can tell you that right off now. So if you're trying to get rid of Davenport, you can go ahead and kiss those hopes goodbye, because there's not even a left tackle on the free agent market. Not only that, but you got to ride with what you drafted. Develop Davenport. Just keep going. But as far as our right tackle position, I don't like Kendall Lamb. I've never liked Kendall Lamb. I don't care how good he does or how bad he does. That guy is not a right tackle and should not be playing in the league. And for the love of God, give me one more guard that'll stay healthy. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. But as far as the top 3 linemen that are probably going to go are probably going to be either Greg Little, Jonah Williams, and probably Juwan Taylor. Maybe David Edwards, but he tore his ACL. Just a tackle from Washington, or not Washington, from Wisconsin. So I don't know, man. That's about all I got for right now.
Okay. Man, Ray, man, I appreciate you dropping some sauce and informing the people. You know what I'm saying? I know, hey, look, again, like I said, if y'all want that draft knowledge, nobody puts in the work like Ray. Ray does his due diligence, and he's going to give you facts, he's going to give you logic, and he's going to present you the most reasonable and realistic expectations. So, again, if you want to be up to date on that, I know a lot of y'all love the draft talk. Make sure you go and subscribe to J&J Sportscast. It's under Ray in the links. I'm going to change. I keep saying I'm going to change shit. I be forgetting to change shit, but it's under Ray. But go, man, go show that man some love, putting in work for the city, man. Ray, I appreciate you calling in, man.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Y'all can stop by, leave a thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. Also, I have a pretty good record right now. with my prospect pick. So, I mean, when it comes to O linemen and D linemen, hard for me to miss, man. But I'm not good at quarterbacks. I'm the one that bitch about Deshaun Watson being picked. Take it or leave it, man. Yeah. I'm a big dude. I didn't play quarterback. What do you want from me? All right, I holla.
I already appreciate it. Shit, it starts in the trenches anyway. That's where it counts, man. Shout out to Ray Ray, man. Appreciate that, Ray Ray, coming through like a dream, man. And like I say, giving the folks some understanding what to look forward to, next season. Y'all talking all that shit, talking about put on some fucking 80 pounds. Shit, look, the way I've been eating well lately. I probably put on about another 40. I'll be good to go, goddamn. So again, it is what it is. You say work at a Bujo's Cage Kitchen by the Gallo, man. Okay, yeah, we might have to do that one day. That might not be a bad idea, man. Appreciate that, Edwin. Let me jot that down. Already, man. Yeah, Bujo's go live. As a matter of fact, Bujo's go hard in the paint. If y'all ain't no fuck with that Bujo's, y'all tripping. I don't think I've been to that one, but I've been on the one I think off of down 45. I think it's another one I went to, but I want to say it's a couple other ones, but definitely I don't think I've been down. But that whole go hard. Bet. But again, man, shout out to Ray Ray, man. Definitely. Like I say, drop some good names there. So again, so y'all can understand what the Texans need to be looking at, or you guys have an idea of who to start looking at. Hopefully, can be contributors and additions to the Texans. Again, he brought up a very valid point too. Not wanting guys that have had an injury history. Because you don't want that, or you don't want those, those 1 year wonders, and then like I say, they just kind of fall off the map. It's good to see some consistency, and then sometimes, like you say, he was talking about old buddy jumping up the draft board. Sometimes you hear those names, they go have one good season, and it's almost like a contract year when the NCAA, when they know they're about to go, they have an opportunity to go to the league. They blow up. So it's very interesting. It'll be very interesting to see what shakes though. Let's see. I ain't playing no damn tackle. Let's see. I still got under sticky down there too. I got to change over to Mr. Mediocre. So yeah, like I say, I got to update it, man. I got to update it. Look, I ain't finna play no left tackle. Y'all ain't gonna be blaming me for shit. Talk about this nigga Honcho then got Watson hurt. It's all his fault. I'm like, fuck y'all, man. I'm gonna be giving y'all that look ranking. Be giving y'all after the games and shit like that. So, it is what it is. But here's the deal, man. I think that's a good note to wrap it up on. And like I said, got some education for your situation. Again, though, before we get ready to slide up out of here, we again, like I say, special sauce tomorrow, special sauce Saturday. Make sure y'all tune in. 7 o'clock time never changes, always the same time, same sauce time, same sauce channel. Make sure y'all hit the links in the description below, man. Go subscribe to all the channels. Don't even ask no questions. You know what I'm saying? Some of the names might not be right. Just go subscribe to all the channels, man. Hey, look, if they sauce affiliated, it's the real shit. It's the live shit. It's the shit you need to fuck with. Yes, we will be in the den at 10, man. If you ain't subscribed to the den, man, y'all need to go ahead and slide in that den. The den is just as live as the sauce. We just talk about real shit in the den. It ain't always sports. Some of y'all need to stay out. Some of y'all just be on some old spammy trolly stuff. But I still fuck with y'all. But if you enjoy having good conversation and just talking about real shit, man, again, getting some little life knowledge. And again, like people call in, man, we've had some great talks the last few days, talking about, we talked about, what was it, body augmentation yesterday, people with these crazy surgeries and shit. We talked about the holidays the other day. We just talk about a lot of real life stuff. And so if you enjoy good real life conversation, again, you can call into the den line on that and, voice your opinion. And so like same as the sauce. Make sure you subscribe, and go fuck with that. But we'll be in the den at 10 as always. Sauce at 7, den at 10, and we can make sure it's 7 days a week. Like I said, gotta give y'all, the good content. Again, pregame Sunday, y'all know what it is, an hour before the game, immediately after the game. For those of y'all who don't know, 7 days a week sauce, 7 days a week Dan. And again, appreciate everybody who called in. Shout out to everybody who held it down. And like I say, man, look, they trying to put us out there in the trenches, man. Look, we got to hold it down. So again, like I said, with that being said, man, I appreciate each and every one of y'all, man. I just don't want y'all to ever think I take it for granted. Shout out to the round table. Shout out to just everybody fucking with it. Hey, man, look, go out and tell one person about the sauce. Look, this is what y'all got to do. Y'all got to do somebody a favor. You know what I'm saying? And again, you got people who stuck on that old Houston sports media. Like I say, the sauce, J&J Sportscast, Third Coast Sports TV, Wise Citizens. I don't know what the fuck breaking news Brandon be doing. That nigga just be eating chicken burgers, but he cool. Darren Davis, Swisher. Again, Scrooston. Again, like I said, look, I ain't trying to forget nobody. Hector, Tenny. You know what I'm saying? Look, everybody, man up, holding it down. Man, go show some love. This is the new Houston sports media, man. Like, go tell a friend. If they don't know about it, say, hey, man, this is the new wave. This is where it's at. That old shit, it ain't cutting it. They ain't going to show you the love we going to show y'all. They ain't going, they ain't going to be concerned with what you thinking. It's about y'all. Like I said, I tell y'all, there is no sauce without the ingredients, man. And so make sure, the head trade, he the little nigga out there bringing the water, running onto the field with the water and shit. But then you be trying to look from between the plays. He behind the bench over there snacking on a burger. Pull that bitch out of his pocket and shit. But, here's the deal, though, man. Again, I appreciate all of y'all. We'll be in the den at 10 talking big shit. It should already be up for the live event thing. Should be already be up for that. So, but with that being said, I appreciate y'all, man. Sauce Nation, y'all the freshest motherfucking ingredients in the world. Shout out to Texas Takeover Group 2, David Lale. I mean, appreciate the love. UCF, we'll see you soon. Appreciate you coming through. And again, like I say, man, just I appreciate everybody showing love and fucking with it, man. But with that being said, y'all be cool like y'all be cool. Hey, y'all stay saucy, man. I'm out.